want to ask her. I want to ask you a question, Kit.
What's up?
You did two things. I feel like as Black women, we do labor and we don't even have to. So two things that you did. You took accountability, or you took on this burden
That wasn't even mine.
that wasn't even mine. So
Right.
she kind of put that on you, and and it was weighing on you at least like 72 hours. And that's not
Oh,
fair to you. And
oh,
then you felt like it was a duty of you as a Black woman. You can't even exist and be free and be in these spaces without feeling like you have to educate her. You don't have to feel like you have to educate everybody on everything. And I want to affirm you in that by saying that. Like, don't
well, I
ever feel
definitely
like you need
appreciate
to
that because I definitely felt it in
educate
that moment.
folks on what to and what not to say. There's spaces for that, and there's other folks that can do that labor. Our labor is no longer free.
Mm.
It's price ain't today's price, okay? And that trust me, that actually taught me a huge. Like I was like, you know what? God forbid it ever happens again. But if it ever does, I'll be prepared for it in a different way because I won't feel
Yeah.
that level of
Y'all
bring it down a
on
notch.
here, y'all on here sound like some freedom fighters. Go ahead, Dion. What you was gonna say? I know you got something to say on the
Look,
topic.
They listen. Kit and Tiara definitely hit the nail on the head with both of their comments. I think it is something that we feel like we need to do when we get in corporate spaces, in social spaces, and sometimes even relationally when we come in contact with, let's say it's a brother who got the white girlfriend, or whatever, and we feel like we have to take on that burden. And no, we we don't. And it's okay to be also authentic in our feelings if we feel disturbed, when we feel disrespected, and saying, hey, that's not okay, and I don't care what else you got to say about it. You wrong. Next, you know what I'm saying? And move on. Like, everything doesn't need to be a reading rainbow moment. Like, I don't need to teach you nothing. It's 2024. Like, get it together. You know what I'm saying? So y'all both hit some really good points in what you said.
Right, Jess, what's your thoughts on the topic?
I mean, I'm pretty much with Kit and Tiara and Dion with that one. It's a
Okay.
respect thing, and even with the on the video, whatever what she said, she doubled down on. So a lot of them know what they're doing, what they're saying, and they mean it.
They say it with their whole
Mm.
chest.
So
Stand on
the
business.
way that the
So,
way that this woman pulled back from what she said, it was like as soon as it left her mouth, she was like, and because, but again, that comes more from the social circles that she's in don't correct her, and when she says it, that's how come when
Mhm.
she said it with me, it was like, oh shit, she ain't one of my people. You understand what I'm saying? It was one of those
Mhm.
kinds of moments, and again, I was more mad at myself because, like you said, it's not my job to like teach and give that level of energy to her, but at the same time, I feel like I let me and other sisters down for not saying, hey, no, I don't care how you felt like I looked in this moment. I don't care that it was said as a compliment, but you I mean, you're one of the envelopes. You know the rules. Like, I'm not walking around here, just using the C. I don't know if we can say the C word on here. I'm not out here calling you a Ritz, or a saltine, so the same level of respect, family show, man. I got you. So since it's a
family shit.
family show, so since I'm not doing that, and I know it, right? It's not even like it's a word that, unless I'm talking about it in a box, that it even comes to my vocabulary to think of, right? So it's one of those things.
So you don't say that word yourself?
What, crap?
No, the N word, right? Like, so when you
No, no,
talk
I'm
in
not.
your
Oh no, I
speech,
was talking about the other words for them.
no,
You know
I know
what
what you're saying, but the question would be, right now,
I'm saying?
I'm just my stance on it. I mean, I agree with what y'all saying. Like, I totally understand as Black people why we feel like that's our word. But I think we need to get that.
Before you go,
You get
before
too
you
much
Hold
go
on,
to
into
hold
the
on,
word,
let me finish my
that
thought. Let me
question,
finish
I
my
know
thought.
you about to ask that
Hold
question.
on, let me
I'm
finish
gonna
my
answer it.
thought.
Okay, hold up.
I'm not gonna ask a question. I'm not asking a question. I'm making a statement.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So when we try to use we gatekeep what we feel like gatekeeping and saying that this belongs to us, right? When it should not even belong to us, right? If we know what our ancestors went through to try to get people to stop using that word, then and then we try to say, oh well, it's not that bad because I'm putting a GGAS at the end, or it's not that bad because you're black, I'm black, and we saying it to each other. And then we try to gatekeep what we feel like is cool. And then we try to tell other people, yo, but I could say these things, but you can't. But instead of just saying, like, how about we start working on our vocabulary, right? So this way now other people out there are not feeling like it's okay to use. If I'm gonna sit there all day and be like, yo, nigga, 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 my nigga, that's my nigga, that's my nigga.
That's what
I'm
DMX
rapping it. I'm rapping it in my songs, and I'm marketing the songs to white people, and then I'm telling the white people, don't rap what I'm saying, listen to it, but don't repeat it. That's wild. Like I think as black people, we are backwards with the way we think, and we are.
with some
I
things.
know
I
that.
agree with that.
A lot
I
of
would have to disagree. I would have to disagree. Us taking that word that was
it's
once,
not taking power back.
it's taking the power back.
Not taking power.
It's a
You sound like a
colloquialism. It's the
womanist.
intention
You sound like a
behind the
womanist.
word. The
No,
intention behind the
no,
word is totally
no.
different when I'm using it towards
So
another black person.
if a man
Versus,
calls you the B word, if a man calls you the B word, would you take it more offensive than if Dion called you the B word?
What was the context?
Doesn't
exactly.
matter. If I'm like, all right, bitch, right? Or Dion turns around and says, yeah, bitch, same context, right? We cool. We just
But
having a regular
I'm gonna tell
conversation.
you something.
But
I'm
I'm
gonna tell you
calling
something.
you.
It's about intention behind the word, and you using the B word and like, hey, that's my
Yeah,
friend. That's my.
what was the intent? What was the
But
intention behind her using the word nigga?
huh?
She said it just like how
Her
you would say
intention
it to
was
your
to
friend.
harm. Her intention was to harm. Her intention was to
You're
draw
missing my point.
some
This is
kind
the
of
problem.
division behind
We
that.
gatekeeping.
Can I
We
ask a question?
gatekeeping crap. Go ahead,
Real,
Jess.
real quick. So, Tiara, if I put a NOOSE, because I don't know if it's allowed or not, around my neck in a chain form and say, listen, I'm taking my power back or whatever, would that be okay?
The girls are doing it. They do it in jury form now.
Yeah, I'm about to say they actually have them out now.
That's
Like real
literally a
talk.
thing.
They
And,
have like they
and
have the
my
So you don't
ties.
have a problem with that?
They have
I
like
don't have a problem with it because I view those who have been oppressed as taking those things that once oppressed us and taking their power. We can't get our power back in other ways. So symbolism in ways through words is us taking some type of power back because we clearly have been oppressed in some way.
There's no power in the word. It's a derogatory word.
It's not
Period.
a derogatory word
Yes,
when
it
used
is.
amongst each other and when there's
It means
intention behind it.
literally the literal meaning of it is an ignorant person. It's a derogatory
so
word.
here's the thing. This is one of those times where conflation is happening, right? Like we're conflating one thing to make it mean something else. Like so Mingo, GMT, you're absolutely right, right? It is a derogatory word as far as the general definition as it stands. But what Tiara is saying, so I kind of agree with both of you, because what Tiara is saying is more that when we took the word back, we turned it from something derogatory and made it a term of endearment. You know what I'm saying? Now, keep in mind, the word is like a noun. It's a person, place, a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, it could be that nigga across the street I don't fuck with, or that nigga is my dude right here. I rock with him. It's just, it is a context thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and I will say that, I feel both ways. I feel both things they can exist and be true at the same time, right? It can absolutely be a derogatory word that we actually took and turned into a term of endearment. Now, whether one is right or wrong, that's to be, discussed in the middle. But both things can exist and be true at the same time. And I can understand both sides. I will say that, kind of like what Tiara was saying, when we took the word, we made it a term of endearment, but that's just Black people in general, right? Like, we'll take the worst of the worst and we'll turn it into something. Like, case in point, and I hope I don't offend any of my, pork eaters on our panel or place, but we don't have to eat chitlins no more. And somehow buckets of them flood the grocery stores every year. And people will clean these little shit pockets and put hot sauce on them and eat them with greens and rice sometimes. And
Just
sometimes.
like tripe.
So
Tripe and Italians, they eat tripe and we eat
but
chicken.
here's the thing. We can get the pork chop now. There's a whole rump roast that we can put in the oven, and we can have like the actual good parts of the pig. And somehow we still take the derogatory slops that they gave us, and we still turn them into a delicatessen marvel every year for the holidays. So I get it. Should we still be eating the shit pockets? Absolutely not. Hey, don't eat it. But for those who have still and do, they turn these little shit pockets into little, ribbons of treasure that people love every holiday. But so, I mean, it's just like you said, GMT, we definitely need to work on our own conversation pieces and how we engage and talk to each other. I do think that a lot of the times we do take things as from a negative space and turn it into a positive for us. And then we don't want them, like you say, we gatekeep. We don't want them to have that, because in reality, they take everything. You know what I'm saying? We can't have nothing. Like, that's like the one saying that we always say, we can't have nothing.
I don't want nigga.
Well, I mean, not even just that. I'm just talking about in general. Even when I used to work in corporate, right? Like, a Black woman has colorful hair. Somehow she's hood, she's ghetto. Why would she come to work like this? A white girl come in with some blue streaks, so like some blue and green. Oh, that is so pretty. It looks so nice. Never as she's hood, she's got tattoos, as she works on a boulevard, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything has a way of being acceptable on one side or the other. I'm just saying that once we really start having those conversations with ourselves, saying, okay, so is the word nigga ever gonna go away, right? If it's not, how do we start, thinking of other conversation? I mean, words get made up every day. We ain't found another word to substitute for nigga. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
look, I look at it like this. Do I want my 6-year-old calling me a nigga because it's a term of endearment? How we choose to take it? No. Absolutely. So why would I be okay? Why would I be okay with it just being used by every and anybody? Right? So if I don't want a white man calling me it or a white woman, then I shouldn't use it. My kids shouldn't use it. You know what I'm saying? My nieces and nephews shouldn't use it. But go ahead, Dion. You was about to say something.
There was a show, old show, called All in the Family.
Yes.
Had this interesting Anglo-Saxon man, lower middle class man with his family, and his name was Archie Bunker. And he came across another man by the name of George Jefferson, who was played by the illustrious Sherman Hemsley, R.I.P. And there was an episode where he was just so flabbergasted that this Black man had a business on the other side of town because he was moving on up to the east side. And he couldn't understand, and he wanted to call him the N-word. And Sherman Hemsley, in his eloquent comedic stylings, he said, say it. Go ahead. Say it. And he said, well, you know. And he says the word on ABC at the time. And he turns, he said, and calls him a what? Oh, monkey.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I hope we can close this up. But to say that he was like, if you gonna call me this, I'm gonna call you that. So if you don't want me to call you this, don't call me that. And that's just really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't here with it, don't call me that. And I understand. We will have our views on it. It is a word that we have taken and we made it a colloquialism in our community. It's been a staple. And then they use the word as well in a way of let's bring it back down to what we meant it to be. But no, you don't want me to call you a honky. Don't call me the N word.
The thing is that, yo, you could cut a white person up and say all of that stuff and they don't get offended. It's not like how a white man is not going to get offended if you call him a honky today. The likelihood is he probably won't get offended if you call him a cracker either. Right? That's just how it is. Like,
so you're saying the word that we have for them is not as hurtful.
They don't take it. They don't take it like that because
they weren't the one that suppressed. And that's one thing you have to understand. When you haven't been a part of the class that has been oppressed, anything that the oppressed says to the oppressor is not going to hit, because systematically you're always going to have the one up.
But there's a bunch of words. There's a bunch of words for Asian people. There's a bunch of words for Spanish people. There's a bunch of words for Italian people. So there's words that are going to cut to the white meat show for other groups of people.
Look, I didn't even realize. Okay, so my New Yorkers, I feel like y'all will understand this when I say this. I never knew that chinky eyes was a negative term. Did y'all?
It is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I knew that.
I didn't know that until, because when I was growing up,
nobody talking about their eyes.
No,
we thought it was a cute feature. We thought it was a cute feature.
They used to think it was a cute feature. Like, oh, you talking about Tiff? Like, oh, you talking about Tiff with the chinky eyes? Oh, you talking about this one with the chinky eyes? Like, that was actually like not a negative. It was actually like, if your eyes was like slanted, like that was like a
even slanted is offensive.
Yeah, Asians take it as a racial slur.
It's definitely offensive. Like if you talk about slanted eyes, it's definitely offensive.
But I guess my other thing is like how, like, I feel like intention behind words make a difference, and that's the human experience, right? We know what they mean when they're saying that. I think it's because it's more historical backing. It's more of like, you're using that because you want to either try to relate or you're trying to hurt. And I really want Black people to go back to gatekeeping. We need to gatekeep things.
No, we need to
gatekeep. We need to gatekeep things. If that's one thing that is a part of our history, that's something that we have taken. I know some people don't agree.
That's not a part of our history. But you still need to gatekeep it.
It's time for us to stop being so inclusive and start to gatekeep. If you gatekeep,
why don't we put each other in shackles, since that's part of our history? With that, we should not just say things are part of our history, so we should hold on to it. Some things you gotta let go. And
it's a part of us now. Like it is.
No, it's not. It's a part of who wants it to be a part of them. It's not a part of me. I don't agree with that. You agree with it. So maybe how you might conduct things around your people, fine. I don't agree with it though. So my son is not saying it. I'm not in the household. Yo, what's up, wife? Yo, that's crazy, my nigga. I don't do that. I don't have my sons call. My oldest son ain't sitting here, yo, dad, what up, nigga? He not dapping me up. I'll punch him in his face if he said that. I'll go to jail, yes. Don't call me that.
Oh, you don't punch him. We don't
I'm talking about beating my kids. But hold on one second.
Your kid is grown. You cannot do that. That is assault. He's an adult. You cannot do that.
The opinions and comments on grown men talking are duly. You got to put the disclaimer out there.
Beat your kids. So listen.
When they grown adults, you can't do that. You go to jail.
Listen, that's straight fighting. So, here's what I'm saying, right? You gotta, if you're not okay with it being said across the board from whoever says it to you, then okay, that's how you live your life. But should we say that's what Black people in general should do? A lot of Black people are not okay with that. So no, we shouldn't gatekeep it because we shouldn't be saying it. And then now I can understand you being mad if another race of person says it, because I don't say it. I won't even call my brother that. You know what I'm saying? So why am I going to accept that? Well, just like you wouldn't want me to, some man just came to you and call you the B word, you would want me to protect you because it's wrong, right? But you could let your friend call it to you. No, then gatekeep that too. Let some other do. Black people just gatekeep whatever they want to. No, we're not gonna just walk around. I'm not gonna just say gatekeep that word. It is not a good word. It is not a word that we should look at as, oh, we hold it now because we've been oppressed and the white man. What?
And I'll tell you
No.
like this.